Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Crown Chatter Podcast. Today, we have picks for, I believe this is week 10. Yes, I believe this is week 10. If I were to, yes, this is week 10. So week 10 picks. It's been a great season so far. It's been lots of fun. Today it's just me. Rest of the group is busy right now. We're out of town. Doesn't really have the is busy at the moment. So currently it'll be just me for this week. You'll have to catch Srbensky and company uh, later. First we have shockers of the week. Um, and in terms of picks for everybody, I don't really. I only have Jacob's. I only have Srbensky's picks. I don't have his shocker. But of course, I do have mine. And as you can see, as I'm putting it in, I'm taking LSU. Yeah, as much as if you haven't watched the you haven't watched my CFP video of my reaction to that epitome of a ranking top 20 epitome of a top 25 and me ripping on LSU. This team at its best is very good, and this is a huge rivalry. I'm picking this more because it's a big line, not because I really think LSU will win it necessarily. But I do think this will be a very good game because this is a road game. Bama has already shown that it has some issues. It has not looked great. Now, this is obviously a big rivalry for Bama too. So I think this will bring close to the best out of both teams. Uh, but this LSU team, like I said, at its best, uh, is pretty darn good. And so is Bama. So we'll see what happens, but I'll go with LSU. I'll go risky and take the Tigers in this one. Up next, I'm gonna go, or not up next. I'm gonna head to the picks now, and like I said, I only have Srbensky's. I only have Srbensky's. I don't have Sam's yet. I'm going to start this off. At the top, we have Illinois heading at home. Not number. Is it number 16? I believe it is number 16. Number 16, Illinois at home against Michigan State. Obviously, all the mishaps against the Wolverines, a lot of frustration, really a lot of disgracefulness in that game too. Really irritating if you're a Wolverines fan and if you're a Michigan State fan, but absolutely disgraceful what happened in Ann Arbor in the tunnel. And this isn't just us, but I think Illinois is just going to wipe Michigan State off the floor. This is not a good Michigan State team. They have not looked good. And Illinois this year has looked nothing but fantastic. They continue to play well. They continue to really honestly look dominant. So I think this is a easy call. I think Illinois wins this one big. And that's what Srbensky has too. He has the Fighting Illini taking down Michigan State, honestly, with ease. Up next, we have Texas Tech on the road at TCU. This game is actually the Big Noon Fox game. So this will be getting Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and all that good stuff. So I think this will be an offensive game. TCU obviously is not a defensive team. They don't care about defense. They really only care about offense. And that's the way they've played this entire season. I think that continues here at home against the Red Raiders, who also have a solid offense. And Texas Tech has played a lot of good teams, but I do think TCU is just better overall. I think it'll be a good game. And I think it'll be an offense. It'll be a shootout for sure. But give me the Horned Frogs in this one, and that is what Serbinsky has as well. He takes TCU in the win. Up next, we have James Madison not at home, on the road against the Louisville Cardinals, who are coming off a huge upset. Really, honestly, throttling Wake Forest pretty darn good. Um, this is a good Louisville team. This is a Louisville team that is interesting. They have moments where they look good, and they've had other moments where they don't look so good. But this Louisville team, Lee Cunningham is a very good quarterback and has clearly shown it all season long. So this will be interesting to see how he plays in this game. Uh, but I'm going to go with the Louisville Cardinals in this one. They're the home team. I very much want to take James Madison, but I don't really know if they'll just have enough to pull this upset. So give me Louisville in a very close one. And that's where Serbinsky goes as well. He has Louisville in the win. Uh, I think he would probably say the same thing. That'd be a close game. He has TCU and 3 hour games. Well, never mind. Next, we have Maryland on the road against the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin is not a great team. However, they somehow stunned Purdue 2 weeks ago, getting an upset over them at home, winning that game. Honestly, pretty big. They were dominating Purdue. So could I see Wisconsin doing that again? Honestly, I very well could. I want to pick Maryland in this one because I want to think that the Terrapins aren't going to fall into the same trap. But this Wisconsin team is not really that good. I don't really want to pick either team, but I like Maryland's team a little bit better. Purdue is just a team that doesn't really play on the road very well. Unless it's a ranked team, I guess. I guess they really get out to play ranked teams. Unless it's a ranked team, they just don't really care. I'm gonna go with Maryland. I think Maryland's just a better team, and Serbinsky is going with Wisconsin. He's not impressed by either team as well, but I guess he's just going with the home team in this one. Up next, we have Florida on the road against Texas A&M. What a disappointment the Aggies have been this year. They have been absolutely terrible. And really, it's starting to get to the point where it looks like if Jimbo Fisher can't start getting some wins, he might be out, he might be gone after this year. Because I can't imagine Texas A&M being able to take many more losses with having a number one recruiting class in the country. I mean, they're on the verge of missing a bowl game. That's how bad that Texas A&M has been this year. So it is imperative, I think, at this point that Texas A&M starts getting wins. Because if they don't, they're gonna Jimbo Fisher's gonna be gone. And as for Florida, obviously the beginning of the Billy Napier era, coming off a loss to Georgia where they were attempting to make a comeback and then fell back a little bit. Anthony Richardson did get hurt in this game. Don't really know how serious it is, if I were to look at it. But this Florida team, Anthony Richardson. I said this a lot, but Anthony Richardson, uh, when when uh, when he's on, he has all the tools to be a really good player. Uh, Problem is he doesn't have a football IQ. So we'll have to see what happens there. Um, but I think this will be a good game. Trying to look up whether or not Richardson is going to play. Uh, doesn't say anything about it. I guess he's fine. Uh, I don't really like either one of these teams. This is another one of those games where I really just don't want to pick either team. Uh, Give me the Gators. Anthony Richardson, when he does make good decisions, obviously it looks good for the Gators. I think their A&M's has been so bad this year. It is a road game for Florida. I'm not really confident in this one, but I wouldn't be confident in taking the Aggies either. I've seen them. I mean, look at Ole Miss; they blew that game. The A&M offense is just so bad. I don't really know if I can trust it. So I'll go with Florida in this one. Sermensky's going opposite of me. He's going with Texas A&M. He just thinks that the Aggies do need to win more, which they do need they do need to win pretty darn bad. But give me the Gators in this one. This is kind of what I was doing last week, just to be different for the sake of being different. Next, we have the Iowa Hawkeyes on the road against Purdue. I think this will be a decent game. Iowa obviously is a very good defensive team. However, they are a awful offensive team, and they just can't score points. So, uh, with Iowa's inability to score, I think Purdue is going to be able to put up enough points to knock off the Iowa Hawkeyes. Even if it is more of a defensive game, I still think Purdue can at least score a little bit on Iowa, and I don't see Iowa really scoring much, especially not in West Lafayette. So give me the Boilermakers. And that's where Sermensky is going as well. He has Purdue gain a win, which would keep them in the Big Ten West race. As they only have two losses and Illinois has one. So Purdue, this is a big game for them to stay within the race for the Big Ten West. Next, we have Baylor on the road against Oklahoma. Both of these teams had a slow start to the year, but both teams have been bouncing back lately. Uh, Baylor had, I think, a 3-3 start to the year. Oklahoma obviously had a not special start to the year. Both teams are honestly disappointments. They both were supposed to be pretty darn good, and neither one of them have panned out, which is a absolute killer for not just them, but for also the Big 12. However, TCU's come out of nowhere and really helped them. So that's their only hope of getting to the playoff at this point. Uh, but this is a really interesting game. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think this is going to be very fun to see. Could be. I think this will be another higher scoring affair. Baylor was the one who got the better of this Sooner team last year. Give me the Sooners to get revenge this year back in Norman with Dylan Gabriel in the offense for Oklahoma. They look like a completely different team. So I'll give the Sooners the edge in this one. And that's exactly what Serbenski is going with. He has Oklahoma just ahead of the Baylor Bears in this one. Next, we have a huge rivalry, one of a few huge rivalries this week, with the Florida State Seminoles on the road against their enormous rivals of Miami, Florida. I'm not going to take very long to do this one. Give me Florida State. Florida State is a okay team. I don't think they're necessarily great by any stretch, but this Miami Florida team looks awful. They are not good. They turned the ball over 8 times against the Duke Blue Devils. In a game against the Duke Blue Devils, Miami Florida in basketball didn't turn it over that many times. That just goes to show you how bad this Miami team has been this year. They have been absolutely deplorable. I don't think this game's even going to be close. I mean, it's a big rivalry, but Miami's just so bad. I don't think it's going to be a great game. Give me Florida State easy. And that's where Sermensky is going as well. He has the Seminoles. Probably big. Next is a classic armed forces matchup. We have Air Force on the road against Army. Obviously, these two teams are the number 1 and number 2 running teams in the entire country. And so, not a surprise here. With I think Air Force has gained like 336 rushing yards a game, with Army gained 334. So these two teams are pretty deadlocked here. I think this will be a good game. Well, this will be a good game. These games are always good because obviously all they do is triple option and run. So this will be fun to see. Definitely going to be a game to watch. This is an 11:30 CBS game, if I'm correct. So definitely one to watch. Uh, you know what? I'll go with the home team here. I'll take Army. I'll take the Army Black Knights. Army's a sneaky team. Air Force is. This will be. I mean, it'll be a good game, but I'll take the home team. This is a complete toss-up. It really, you could take either team, and I mean, you could be right. I'm going opposite Serbensky once again, kind of just for the sake of being different. He took Air Force. Next is Liberty on the road against the Arkansas Razorbacks. I really want to take Liberty in this game, but like I didn't do it against Wake Forest, I won't do it here against the Razorbacks. Give me Arkansas. It's going to be a really good game. This Liberty team is very good, with that only loss being against Wake Forest. I wish they nearly pulled the upset. But I'll take Arkansas just barely in this one. It's going to be a really good game. And that is where Serbensky is going as well. He has the Razorbacks just barely knocking off the Liberty Flames. I'd love to take Liberty, but I just can't do it. Next up, we have UCF on the road taking on the Memphis Tigers. Remember when this was when this was like the American Championship game every single year? Like these two would play each other like 4 years in a row, or not 4 years, 3 years in a row, I think, or something like that. These two kept playing each other. This used to be a really good American matchup. Now it's just become Cincinnati and somebody. But who knows? Maybe it'll be UCF this year. This will be a really good game. I think this will be a good game. Give me UCF. I think they're a better team. They played like a better team. They look really good against Cincinnati, who I don't think Cincinnati is a great team. But still, they look good against honestly not bad team in Cincinnati. So give me the Golden Knights. I think they're just a little bit better. I think they're better than Memphis. It'll be a good game, but I'll take UCF to win a close one here, and that's where I'm pretty sure Serbinsky is going. Yes, it is. Next we have Oklahoma State on the road against Kansas. Oklahoma State got absolutely demolished by the Jayhawks' rival, Kansas State, getting incinerated and swamped 48-0. Really, really ugly performance by Oklahoma State in that game, and really it was not a good look for for Oklahoma State. And so now, obviously, looking for a bounce back. As far as I know, for Kansas, they are still going to be missing Jalen Daniels in this game. At least I think they will be. But this Kansas team obviously has been much better than people anticipated. They won 5 straight. But they did fall a little. But they've lost 3. They lost 3 straight, though. Obviously, not what they were hoping for. But this should be really interesting. I think this will really depend, though, on Jalen Daniels. He's currently questionable for the game against. He's currently questionable against Oklahoma State. But I think this will be a really good game. If he does play, I would take Kansas to get the win and finally bounce back. I'm gonna take Kansas anyway. This Oklahoma State team just does not impress. Just absolutely got destroyed by Kansas State, and you can't play like that and call yourself a top 25 team. That just is not good. And if Kansas State can do that to you, Kansas can do that to you. So I'll take the upset here. Give me the Jayhawks. That is not where Sabensky is going. He is sticking with the Cowboys to get out of Lawrence and get their seventh win of the year. Now, this game has already started. I actually have not even checked the score yet, so I have no idea what it is. But Appalachian State at Coastal Carolina, these two are obviously really these are big teams, obviously in the Sun Belt. I'm taking Coastal. I have Coastal Carolina. Sermensky has Appalachian State. Both teams are well known for. Both teams are obviously well known. Appalachian State more so for upsets. Coastal Carolina for just consistently having a good record. Next we have Oregon State. It's a Friday night game. Oregon State, number 23, Oregon State on the road against Washington. Both these teams have played very well this year. Oregon State 6-2, and Washington also 6-2. But I'll take the Huskies in this one. Washington has a really good passing attack. And Michael Penix has played very well this year, proving that that what he did at Indiana wasn't a fluke. I think it'll be a really good game. But give me the Huskies at home. If it was at Oregon State, if it was in Corvallis, I might have taken the Beavers. But I like this Washington team. They are pretty darn good. So give me the Huskies to win this one. And Sermensky actually has Oregon State. Wow, we're definitely on a lot of stuff this week. But he has Oregon State in this one, getting the win on the road in Husky Nation. Next, we have Syracuse on the road against the Pitt Panthers. This is a big game for really, honestly, I'd say both teams. For Syracuse, honestly, they're still in the race for the ACC Atlantic. They only have one loss still in the conference. That being the Clemson. They do have two losses. They've lost two straight. Of course, they lost their last game to Notre Dame, which was not all that impressive by Syracuse. I'm gonna go with Syracuse to win this one. I think they'll get the bounce back win. This Pitt team just hasn't looked good. I think Syracuse both teams need to win, but I think Syracuse will want it more. And Pitt just has not looked good this year. It's hard for me to really pick the Pitt Panthers for anything. So give me the orange in this one. And well, I don't need to explain why Serbensky is taking Syracuse to win. So yeah, he has the orange. Next is Wake Forest on the road against NC State. I think this will be a fantastic game, but NC State is missing Devin Leary. Wake Forest is not missing Sam Hartman, so therefore I take Wake Forest. I think it'll be an offensive shootout, but I got the Demon Deacons getting the win. That's where Sabensky is going. They actually did turn it over 8 times against Louisville last week. I think this is going to be their bounce back. They don't put up that kind of a performance against the Wolfpack. They play significantly better in this one, getting the win in Raleigh. Next, we have the Texas Longhorns on the road against Kansas State. I don't think Texas should be ranked, but I don't think Kansas State is as good as people really think they are. I think this will be a good game, but it's been an up and down year for Texas, mostly because Texas has had an up and down year with their quarterback, of which Quinn Ewers has had an up and down year this year. But give me the Longhorns. I think this will be a great game, but this Texas team, like I said, they've been up and down this year. They've had some good games. They've had some bad games. Ewers had some good games. He's had some bad games. But Quinn Ewers is a very good quarterback. And Kansas State, they just did smack Oklahoma State, but I don't think they'll be able to do that to Texas. I think the Longhorns come in and surprise the Wildcats. Meanwhile, Sermensky has Kansas State. He just is not a Texas guy, so he has the Wildcats. winning this one. Next, we have Clemson on the road against Notre Dame. Clemson is not a great team, I don't think. The Tigers have looked inconsistent this year. This is a very tough game for, I think, Clemson heading to South Bend. But this Notre Dame team also doesn't impress me. So give me Clemson. I think this will be a really good game, but I think Clemson does what they always do. They have an unimpressive first half, and then they turn around in the second half and end up just winning the game. Sremensky is taking Notre Dame mostly because he's just mad that they're ahead of Michigan, which I am too, but I'll just take Notre Dame. Next, we have Alabama on the road against LSU. This is going to be a fantastic game as well. I think this will be a great game to watch. 7 o'clock ESPN. Of course, as I said earlier, this is a huge rivalry. This is gonna be really fun to see. I'm gonna take Alabama. I think this will be a great game. I think LSU will put up a great fight, and this will come down to the end. But I think Bama cannot lose another game this year. And really these next 2 weeks, if they lose, because they have Ole Miss next week, if they lose either of these 2 weeks, they are going to be well behind in the race for the West, for the SEC West. So these are huge games for Bama. This is only the start, and it's also a huge rivalry. Brian Kelly looking to prove something, trying to win his first game against the Crimson Tide. I think it'll be a close game, but give me Alabama. And then, of course, the game of the week. The Tennessee Volunteers head on the road to take on, shockingly, number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs. This is going to be I think this will be a good game. Tennessee has really been unbelievable so far this year and has really shocked a lot of people with really just coming out of nowhere. So I think this will be a good game, but in Georgia, if you had told me that this game was going to be in Knoxville, I would lean more towards Tennessee. But in Georgia, I gotta say that Georgia defense is gonna step up, and I think they'll get the win. I know I've been a huge Tennessee hater all year long, and so you can say what you want, but I'm gonna go with Georgia here. Top defense in the country against top offense, essentially in the country. Strength versus strength, and I think the Georgia offense has a little bit more than the Tennessee defense does. Still, again, gonna be a good game, but give me Georgia. And I mean, he's an unbeliever all year. Sremensky has Tennessee winning in Athens, given the Volunteers, who are number 1. That's so bad. But given the Volunteers the upset in Athens. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one. Until next time, adios, everyone.